Hello, so this is going to be the startup procedure for the sanctuary. So the first step I like to do is I like to walk through the rightmost door, and there's two light switches right here. I like to switch those on because otherwise it's pretty dark in here. So the next thing I'm going to do is walk over to the sound booth. So here I am in the sound booth. So on the wall in the right side, there's a little board right here. I like to tap the screen and you're gonna press LED power on. And there's gonna be two light switches on the end. I like to turn those on. Those just turn on the light switches for the booths. Next thing is come over to the board over here and you're gonna turn on number 8, 9, and 10. So 8, 9, and 10. And make sure this master switch right here is all the way up, otherwise the lights won't turn off. And just like that, you can see the lights turn on. So the next step to get the sound system on is there's a little red button right here. So I'm going to push that button in and you can hear some clicks, and that just signifies that the system is turning on. And the next thing I like to do is there's a couple of clips on this the receiver box over here. So I like to take those out. Same thing on the other side. And then just go ahead and put the cover on top like that. And then just kind of extend these antennas just so the mics have the best connection possible. Now the next thing is on the board itself, press scenes, and then you're going to choose the appropriate scene. So for right now, we're going to have the 8:30 service. So I'm going to go ahead and put the traditional scene, which is right here, traditional, and then I'm going to click go. This will recall traditional, continue. And just like that, we can see all the sliders snapped into place for the traditional scene. So the next step is to exit the booth and walk over to the slides booth. So it's just across the stage. Now when you get over here, I like to start by turning on the computer. So to turn on the computer, there's a little power button right there. And you'll see a couple lights turn on, and that signifies that the computer is turning on. And on the monitor, right, there's a little power button. You can see there's a button right here. If I push it up, you'll see the light turns on and the monitor is turning on. Now while we wait for the monitor to turn on, there's a little board right here, which is to the right side of the computer. And we're gonna press system on. And then you're also gonna press camera. So usually those screens should come down. The screens right there, they should come down. But right now there's a bug in the system, so they're not coming down manually. Sorry, they're not coming out automatically, so we have to bring them down manually. But I'll show you how to do that. But if that problem is solved, then those screens will come down by itself. So next you're gonna log into the computer. The password is Revolution. And once you're logged in, you're gonna go ahead and open up the Proclaim software as well as Spotify. So give that a second to load. And while I'm on Spotify, I like to just kind of play the classical instrumental worship playlist, because when I'm gonna set up the streaming back there, it's just gonna give me a way to check to make sure that I'm getting sound passing through. And the next thing is I'm gonna go to File, Open Recent, and I'm just gonna open, the appropriate Proclaim. So for today, it's gonna be the 8:30 service. And just like that, you're gonna see it fires up. And then I'm gonna go ahead and press on air. And just like that, everything is on air. Now there's a couple of remotes over here. So you wanna take the LG remote right here. And you can see the confidence monitor down there. And usually you can kind of lean forward and the monitor will turn on. Let's see if I get lucky today. There we go. So you can see it turned on, just like that. And if I walk out of the slides booth, you can see that this monitor automatically turns on with the button on the wall. So everything is mostly set up here. It's just that those projectors didn't come down. So I'm gonna show you how to walk over there. So each of the projectors have a little manual switch behind this pillar right here. So walking around to the pillar, you can see right here. So I'm just gonna push down And you can see the projector is coming down now. Just like that. And now there's one more on the other side to bring down the other projector. So this time it's not behind this pillar, so just to let you know where I am, the piano is right here. There's a pillar right here. It's not this pillar, it's actually the pillar behind this flag. So walk around and just like that, press down. And you can kind of hear the projector turning on, and that shows that it is coming down. Just like that. Perfect. Now we're gonna go over into the back, down there, and we're gonna set up the streaming. Now before I set up the streaming, I do like to go ahead and turn on these monitors out in the narthex. So I'm gonna just push the button on the bottom, and that's gonna turn that TV on. And there's one more TV on this side. So I'm gonna push it in, just like that. This TV is also on. So the next thing I like to do is, this is the usher's closet or the streaming booth. There's a light switch right there. I just like to turn that on. And next I'm gonna unlock this door. Perfect, it's unlocked. So when I enter, there's a light switch to your right side. I like to turn that on. Give me some light in here. All right, so the first step for the streaming is I just like to remove this cover over here. That's just covering the soundboard. So next I'm going to turn on the Mac. So right here, there is a little button. It's all the way on the right side. I'm just going to push it in. And you should hear that noise, and that just signifies that it's turning on. So I'll give it a second here to load. And we have the keyboard on this side. So using the mouse, I'm going to click the using the mouse, I'm going to click the streaming. I'm going to type in streaming, all lowercase. And just like that, it's going to log in. Now what I like to do is I like to unplug this and kind of put it back here, just because we don't need that anymore. So next up, you're going to see that this application called SoundGrid Studio is kind of bouncing up and down. So that just means that it's turning on. So usually you would have to launch it manually, but on this computer it's set to launch by itself. So I'll just give it a few seconds here for it to launch. And when it is launched, you'll see a little dot on the bottom, which just showed up. So if you look right here, there's a little dot on the bottom, and that means that the application is open. So I like to press it, and then you can see SoundGrid Studio, main sanctuary. So next up, you're gonna press patch. Then you're gonna select Tim's Mac Mini, unselect this one right here. Then you're gonna press device to device. And you just wanna make sure that all of these have a green box all the way throughout. And if it's green like that, you're good. So you can just go ahead and minimize this application by pressing the little orange. Nice. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna turn on this soundboard right here. So if you go onto the the left side, there's a little button right there. So I'm just gonna flip it. It's a little switch, and that's gonna turn this board on. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the appropriate files. So in this case, I'm gonna open up the traditional template, and I'm just gonna press the most recent file. So right here, it's from Feb 18, and it should be a .cpr file, Cubase project file. So I'm gonna open that, and you'll see it loading. You can see the mixer removed. So over here, I'm gonna press cancel. And there you go. So you can see all of these kind of snapped into place. Now, if you remember earlier, I unpaused Spotify, so that's just gonna give me a check over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute everything. Now I did play Spotify, so if I increase that, we should hear, but we won't be getting audio until we turn on this system, because this part right here sends the audio out to the speakers. So to turn this board on, there's a little push switch right here. So I'm just gonna push it in, and you can see that thing turns on. You can hear a fan turn on. For the camera controller, let's see, there's a little button right here. It's a little toggle button as well, and that turns that on. And for the monitor, there's a little a circle dial on the right side. Just push that in, and you'll see that should snap into place as well. There we go. So next up, for this computer right here, usually the monitor is just turned off, so there's a little button under here as well. And yep, there we go. So that's on still. So now there's a little dial right here which tells me if there's audio. So if it actually increases the volume, so if I turn it to the right side, you can hear that instrumental playlist that I was playing from the computer. So that confirms that we have Spotify. And you can also see the modulation both on the PC and the main, so we're good there. So I just like to mute this. So the next step is going to be the camera system, which is all set up, it just turned on. So I'm gonna go ahead and log in over here. The password is streaming. And I'm gonna open up the SLMC. Well, that is for Sunday mornings for the services, but if your BFC or Mary Ministry, you will open those files accordingly. And one more thing, there's a little audio bar right here. So what I like to do is go back to the Mac and unmute Spotify, so we have some modulation, and we can confirm that the audio is passing through by this right here. So we're good on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute the audio back. And on the cameras over here, we need to white balance the cameras. So in order to do that, I like to go to any camera. So I'm gonna go to 2 in this case. So I'm gonna press 2 right here, and you can see 2 opens up in the preview. I'm gonna press 2 on the camera controller, and using the joystick, I'm just gonna zoom into like any white. So I like to use this sometimes, or sometimes the pulpit will have a white cloth. That's also better, but just try to get in as close as you can to the white. About there. And next up over here, where it says white balance cycle, I'm gonna press it until the screen where it says white balance cycle, it says auto right now. It's the second from the bottom. Now it says indoor, outdoor, 1 push. So I just pressed white balance cycle until it showed 1 push right there. And then what I'm gonna do is you're gonna see this selection highlight green. So I'm just gonna press that, and that's going to white balance the camera. So that's just basically what it's doing, is it's using a white point in the frame to reference the white balance. So we're all good there. So these cameras are white balanced now. You can go and individually do it for each camera. So you see how this camera looks like correct colors, and this one looks super maroon and super red. So you just have to manually white balance each one. So the next thing I like to do is I just like to put number 5 on here, which is the computer proclaim screen. And you can see right here, it doesn't show the proclaim screen right now, as well as in the sanctuary. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to go back to the computer where the slides are. So I'm gonna walk over there. You can also see on the TVs right here, you can't see the proclaim slides. So what I'm gonna do is walk over to the computer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press on air. The screen should change a little, and then I'm going to press on air. And there you go. You can see the screen snapped into place. And if we go back outside, we should confirm that those TV screens are also showing the Proclaim screen. And just like that, you see the Proclaim and the Proclaim. And that's about it to set up the sanctuary. Thank you.